Good morning, students. Welcome back to the class. So successfully we have finished two chapters in lockdown. One is differentiability we have studied, and the next chapter was relations and functions. So it was a bit different chapter compared to normally what we used to learn in maths. Maths means calculation, too much of calculating, thinking. So many things were there, no. But in the chapter of matrices or relations and functions, if you notice, most of the times you will apply logics. Correct? No? Okay. Hardly few calculations. Okay. The rest was just applying logics and getting the answer. Okay. Those two chapters were easy. I told you in the lockdown period, I am going to select few easy chapters, which will be good right now during the lockdown period. Once we start with the regular classes, definitely we will continue with the calculus. Okay. So my next chapter is going to be a chapter called as matrices. Easy to learn, easy to score. You will notice actually this is there, and after this we have the next chapter called as determinants. Both are related actually, but it's easy to score in these two chapters compared to any other chapters. Okay, relation functions, just a pure logic, it's fine. Inverse trigonometric functions, sorry, forgot, we finished 3 chapters actually. Okay, inverse trigonometric functions, concepts were too less. Okay, hardly few formulas. If you remember, we can solve any problems in inverse trigonometric functions. Then after that we have the next chapter called as matrices. Some of you will say matrices also, so it's okay, it doesn't matter. Okay, so matrices we will going to study. Then afterwards we have the next chapter called as determinants. So a simple definition to start with matrix. Before I start this, now I just wanted to remind, okay, now I hope all of you are following the EPL, okay, all of you are following the videos daily, okay, but we have noticed that most of you are not watching the videos on a daily basis, thinking that okay, it is there on the YouTube, we can log in anytime and we can watch the video. So you people are postponing, it will be a burden for you later on. So please try not to do this. Okay, so on time try to finish the videos and try to maintain the records. Okay, fine. So let us start with a simple chapter called as matrices. It's actually a plural form, matrix. What we need to study something called as matrix. The plural form will be matrices, right? Okay, so what is a matrix? To start with that, let us take an example. I have taken 4 numbers here, 1, 2, minus 3, 4. I have taken 4 different numbers. Now, with these 4 numbers, what can I do? I can arrange them in the form of a row like this, or I can arrange them in this form, right? Or I can arrange them in this form, simply not just arranging. If I am arranging them within a pair of brackets like this, without the brackets, they are simply a set of numbers, that's it. Okay. So if I am just putting those 4 elements in different forms, I have just went for 3 different forms, right? What I have written, each one is called as a matrix. So what I did, arrangement of numbers, that's all, right? Arrangement numbers in which way? In a rectangular arrangement. So the definition, what is a matrix? A rectangular arrangement. Rectangular arrangement of what? Maybe numbers, maybe alphabets, right? Maybe anything. Actually, human beings also can be represented in the form of a matrix also. It doesn't matter, okay? So a rectangular arrangement of what? Numbers, rectangular arrangement of alphabets, rectangular arrangement of humans, rectangular arrangement of animals, anything it might be, right? Okay. So what is a matrix? So the definition is here, a quite simple definition. A rectangular arrangement of numbers in rows and columns. Just try to remember what I said. A rectangular arrangement of numbers, I will take it, the rest of the things will be there, you can take it in any form. Okay, rectangular arrangement of numbers in rows and columns. Rectangular arrangement of numbers in rows and columns will be called as a matrix. So I have given you 3 examples already. So the first one was 1, 2, minus 3, 4. This was the first matrix. Then 1, 2, minus 3, 4. Correct now? And one more, I just wrote it like this, 1, 2, minus 3, 4. Right? Each one is called as a matrix. So the plural form, I want to study all the 3 at the same time, so it will be called as matrices. Right? So a rectangular arrangement of numbers in rows and columns. Now anything I wrote in the form of a rectangular will not become a matrix. Try to just remember what I said now. Anything which I write in the form of rows and columns will not become a matrix. To become a matrix, some conditions are there. What are those conditions? Okay, for example, 1, 2, minus 3, 4. This is 1. Okay, then 1, 2, minus 3, 4. Now what you notice here, there are two ways. See, this will be called as rows actually. This way of writing, that is horizontal way of reading the numbers, will be called as rows. So there are two rows, R1 and R2, and there are two columns. Let me name this as C1 and C2. And here, how many rows? Only one row. But how many columns? C1, C2, C3, C4. See, the horizontal way of reading the numbers will be called as a row, whereas the vertical way of reading the numbers will be called as a column. Okay, fine. Just notice in these two. Okay, for example, this one. So, R1, R2. There are two rows, right? And in both the rows, number of elements are equal. And also, notice, there are two columns, C1 and C2. It also satisfies the number of elements are equal. So there are two rows, the number of elements are equal. There are two columns, the number of elements are equal. First thing, let us come here. There is only one row, there is nothing to count. Let us see the column wise. How many elements in each column? In each column only one element. So now there is only one row, right? And the number of elements are 4. And there are 4 columns. Right, and in all the 4 columns, the number of elements are 1. Let me write one more example. 2, minus 3, 4, 1. Okay, let me include one more. Will this be a matrix? This will not be called as a matrix. Why it will not be called as a matrix? You notice here, this is R2 and this is R1, correct, right? What are the number of elements in R1? Number of elements in R1 are 3. What are the number of elements in R2? Number of elements in R2 will be 2. The number of elements are not equal. Even you can notice, even the number of elements in the columns are also not equal. This will not be called as a matrix. So, the conclusion. If you want to say that, okay, a rectangular arrangement of numbers is a matrix, this is the condition. The number of elements in each row and each column should be same or equal. This is the definition what we have to remember. So an introduction, okay, of what is a matrix. So a simple definition, a rectangular arrangement of numbers in rows and columns will be called as a matrix. Fine students. Now, given a matrix, what are the things we need to observe in a matrix? Let me tell you this. So I said, given a matrix, what are the things I should observe in a matrix? And before I continue, matrices are denoted by. There are few things before I just continue. Matrices are denoted by capital letters A, B, C and so on. Okay. Matrices will be usually denoted by this, right? And the elements, right? What are the elements are there now? Simply if I write this element, it will not become a matrix. If this has to become a matrix, the element should be enclosed within a pair of brackets. What are the brackets permitted to write down the matrix? One thing is, you can use this bracket. Otherwise, you can use this bracket. Otherwise, you can use this bracket. Most of the times nobody will use this. Okay, but still it will be considered as a matrix representation. So these are the common two brackets which will be used to write down the elements of a matrix. Simply writing elements in the form of rows and columns, no, will not be taken as a matrix. It will be taken as numbers, that's all. But when those numbers are written within a pair of brackets like this, then it will become a matrix. So remember this thing, right? Now, given a matrix, what are the things I should observe? So let me consider a matrix 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, minus 1. So given a matrix, what are the things I should observe? The first thing I should observe is, now the elements actually. What do you mean by the elements? I should observe the elements. Second thing, I should observe what is the order of the matrix. The next thing, I should observe what is the position of the element. So given a matrix, I should observe three things. First thing is elements, right? The next thing is what is the order of the matrix, and the next thing is what is the position of each element. Simple. Let us come back. Okay, now elements. Whatever the numbers I have written here, each number is called as an element. For example, 1 is called as an element of the matrix A, 2 is called as an element of the matrix A, 3 is called as an element of the matrix A, like this. So each member, what I have written here, will be called as a member or will be called as an element of the matrix. First thing is clear. Then what is the meaning of order of the matrix? Okay, the most important thing under matrix is this. Okay, now let me come to this one. So what is that? I am going to call these two as, now this is called as row 1. This is called as row 1, first row, and this is called as row 2. The horizontal way of reading the numbers is called as row, right? Okay. Now how many columns are there? This is C1, this is C2, and this is C3. So how many columns? So the number of rows are 2 and the number of columns are 3. Then the order of the matrix is simply written as 2 by 3. Some people will say 2 cross 3 also. Okay, it doesn't matter. So the way of reading is 2 by 3. That's the way to read the order. First, it's mandatory. Remember, first should be taken rows, then should be taken columns. You cannot interchange this actually. Don't ask me why. This is how the definition was started. This is how the scientists have given to us. Okay, so this is how everyone is proceeding. So this is how the things are going on. So I suggest you to just consider this. Okay, so what is the order of a matrix? Quite simple. The number of rows by the number of columns will be called as the order of the matrix. Okay, so let's go to the next one. What's called as position of an element. Let's see this one. Right, I've taken 2 here. What is 2 here? 2. If I want to read it in terms of row, this is an element of the first row. Correct, right? So it's an element of first row. Correct. And it's also an element of second column. So how can I simply say that first row, second column, right? So simply can be written as 1, 2 element of A. So in by giving an example, they will ask you, find out the 1, 2th element of the matrix. Quite simple. 1, 2 means first row, second column. So it's quite simple. First row, second column, the element is going to be 2. Now, what is this 2 then? Now just observe, this is a 2 here once again. This is an element of R2, right? And it's an element of C2 also, correct now? So this element can be taken as, the position of this element is 2, 2. Now that means it's an element of second row and second column, right? So in generally a matrix, elements of the matrix is, this is the way they like it, Aij, right? What is I and J? Now every time I stands for row and J stands for column, right? So if I want to say 1, 3, find out the element 1, 3. Now that means you have to find out an element from first row and second column. First number always says row, second number always says column. First row, third column, right? So this is the first row and this is the third column, correct now? Right. So the element A13 is nothing but 3. Then what if say suppose ask you find out A23. Now A23, second row, third column, that is -1. So right. So that's a way to find out the position of each element of a matrix. So it's just simply denoted by Aij, where I stands for row and J stands for column. I hope it's clear, students. So that is the 3 things you need to observe given a matrix. What are the elements present there? What is the order of the matrix? And what is the position of each element of the matrix? So in general, how to define the order of a matrix? If A is a matrix of order m and B is a matrix of order n, then okay, A is a matrix having m rows, sorry for that, and n columns. So if A is a matrix of having m row and n column, then the order of the matrix A is denoted by m by n, where m represents row and n represents the column. This is how it should be defined. Okay, that's 1 mark definition usually. Define order of a matrix. Quite simple. Okay, now a matrix A which is having m rows and n columns, then the order of the matrix A is denoted by m cross n. So we have finished with the order of the matrix. So you have to just remember, students, and based on order of a matrix, let me explain you a simple concept. I have a matrix A and matrix B. When can I say these two matrices are equal? That is, we call it as equality of matrix. Equality of matrices. When can we say two matrices are equal? It's quite simple definition. Two matrices are equal if their orders are same. First thing, you have to make sure their orders are same. Okay, so if I want here A, B, C, D, that is one matrix. Let me take one more, 1, 2, 3, 4. Fine. What's the order of this matrix? 2 cross 2. What's the order of this matrix? 2 cross 2. Right. Or 2 by 2 is also fine. Right. And can I say these two matrices are equal? Of course I can say these two matrices are equal. Okay. Because their orders are same. Once I say two matrices are equal, okay, their corresponding elements also should be equal. That means A should be equal to 1. Then B should be equal to 2. Two matrices are equal if, first thing, the order should be same. Right. Second thing, the corresponding elements also should be same. Hope this is fine, students. Okay, remember this definition. We have quite few problems based on this equality of matrices. So two matrices are equal. See, first thing is I can compare two matrices. Okay, first thing, their order should be same. Right. So to compare A and B are equal, order should be same. First condition. Second condition, if the two matrices are equal, then their corresponding element should be equal. So I can say A equal to 1, B equal to 2, then I can say C equal to 3 and D equal to 4. Corresponding elements. Corresponding elements means, now if I take the first row, second column elements of the first matrix, that should be equal to first row, second column element of the second matrix. That is the meaning of corresponding. Clear? Okay, students, now we have learned what is the definition, what do you mean by a matrix. Okay, then how to define the order of a matrix. Then what do you mean by two matrices are equal. These are the things we have learned, correct? Now, the next thing and the most important one, what are the types of matrices? How many types of matrices are there? Okay, first one, we call it as a row matrix. See, the name itself suggests row. A matrix having only one row. All definitions are there in the EPL, so not to worry. What I will do here, for each type I will give you an example and I will explain it. All definitions are there in the EPL. You have to just copy down, okay, to the classwork. Now, the name itself suggests row matrix. A matrix having only one row. Only one row, that's it. Right. That type of matrix will be called as a row matrix. Second, what do you mean by column matrix? Right, simple. The name suggests the matrix should have only one column, like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. This will be called as a column matrix. Right, okay. So, definition for row matrix, a matrix having only one row. Column matrix, a matrix having only one column. Then, the next one. What do you mean by zero matrix? Just look at the example. A matrix in which each element is 0. Each element is 0 will be called as a zero matrix. A simple definition. Fine. Okay. Now the next one. The next one we are going to study. Fourth one. We are going to study something called as square matrix. What do you mean by a square matrix? The name itself suggests square. So what is the condition in a square? Length should be equal to breadth. That is what we say in a square, right? Length should be equal to a rectangle in which length should be equal to breadth. Correct, right? In the same way, a matrix is said to be a square matrix if number of rows should be equal to number of columns. A matrix in which number of rows equal to number of columns or equal number of rows and columns. In a square, length should be equal to breadth. But if it comes to a matrix in which the number of rows equal to the number of columns, such type of matrix will be called as a square matrix. This is an important one. Now, from this on this we will solve many types of problems actually. Different things we will go to study based on square matrix. So okay, so let me take an example to write this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Right, okay. As you notice here, how many rows actually? So this we call it as row 1, and this we call it as row 2, and this we call it as row 3. There are 3 rows, right? And this is the full elements, right? So this will be called as column 1, this will be called as column 2, and this will be called as column 3. So how many rows here? Number of rows equal to 3, and number of columns is also equal to 3. Number of rows equal to number of columns. In such case, right, the matrix will be called as a square matrix. A matrix having equal number of rows and columns will be called as a square matrix, right? So usually the order of a square matrix, if it is having n elements, okay, then the order of the matrix n by n. Some of them will say n by n, okay. So if a matrix is having number of rows and number of columns are equal, right, and if there are n elements, so this is the order of the matrix we are going to denote, right? Now in a square matrix, I wanted to just make a note of this. In a square matrix, when I take the left diagonal elements, these elements are called as principal diagonal elements. So remember this concept of square matrix. In a square matrix you can find 2 diagonals, one is left diagonal, one is right diagonal, okay. So left diagonal elements will be always taken as principal diagonal elements, and right diagonal elements will be named as secondary diagonal elements. We are not much worried about the secondary diagonal elements actually, okay, but there are many things which you will go to study on principal diagonal elements. Some of them will say simply diagonal elements, some of them will mention it as principal diagonal elements. So in a square matrix, these are the things which you have to remember. Clear? Okay. Now, so a rectangle. What do you mean by rectangle? Now here length is not equal to breadth, right? Okay, length is not equal to breadth in a rectangle, correct, right? Fine. If it's equal, then it becomes a square. If it's not equal, it becomes a rectangle, correct, right? Okay. Now the next thing what I want to just give you is what do you call it as rectangular matrix. What is a rectangular matrix? Simple, the name itself suggests rectangle. In a rectangle, length and breadth is not equal. In a rectangular matrix, number of rows is not equal to number of columns. So simple one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Here the number of rows, 2 rows, correct, right? And the number of columns are 3. So notice the number of rows is not equal to number of columns. In such case, this matrix will be called as rectangular matrix. A matrix in which rows and columns are unequal will be named as a rectangular matrix, right? The next one, what we have is upper triangular matrix. Remember, sometimes you need it, so I'm just explaining this. So upper triangular matrix. So what do you mean by an upper triangular matrix? So let us take a matrix. For example, this is upper triangle, right? So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Just notice, just keep noticing it. I'm going to write something, right? Upper triangular matrix. Okay. See, a matrix in which this is the principal diagonal elements, right? Below the principal diagonal, you can find all the elements are 0. In such case, the matrix will be called as a upper triangle. Okay, you just go to the lower side. Okay, just to the left side of it. Right. The next one we have something called as lower triangular matrix. Just opposite to this, it should be a square matrix, right? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And notice here, the elements above the principal diagonal, each element is 0. That is the difference. That is how to differentiate between upper triangular and lower triangular. Okay. So just we have one more. What is the next few things which are going to be very important for us? The next few definitions are going to be very important for us. Under that, the next one, what we're going to study, something called as diagonal matrix. just give 5 stars for this. Okay. This and the next one, the most important definition repeatedly asked in the final examination for 1 mark. Okay, what is a diagonal matrix? Okay, the beginning of these two definitions are quite important. If you go wrong, they will not consider. Okay, now just look at the definition. A square matrix, just look at the beginning what I started. A square matrix, okay, in which see, you want a diagonal matrix, a square matrix in which the non-diagonal elements are 0. A square matrix in which the non-diagonal elements are 0. First thing, when you want to say diagonal matrix, it should be a square matrix, first thing. And in that, except the diagonal, the rest of the elements should be 0. 1, 2, 3. I will take the diagonal and you have to make the rest of the elements as 0. A square matrix in which except the diagonal, or you can say the non-diagonal elements are 0, this will give you 1 mark. 90% of the students will go wrong in writing this definition just because of one thing, one common mistake. What they do, they will start, they will miss this, they will forget to write this. Even though a student who has studied too much and who's too good actually, there are chances. Okay, don't think that the intelligent students will remember and write. Okay, the dull student will not write, not like that. Even the intelligent student will make a mistake. Okay, the common mistakes will be this. Okay, a square matrix, that is a way to start, but normally most of the students will write a matrix in which they will forget this word square. This definition will be wrong if you just say a matrix. I cannot define diagonal matrix for every type of matrix. Diagonal matrix can be defined only for square matrix. Just give a thing on this. Okay, so you need to just remember this word called as square matrix. That's the first one. Okay, the most important two I said, this and the next one. The next one, something they say, what is a scalar matrix? There are two ways of starting this. You can start square matrix. If I start square matrix, I should write two conditions. Or if I say a diagonal matrix, just look at the beginning. Okay, I started with a diagonal matrix in which the diagonal elements are same. That means this is a diagonal matrix. If these three elements are same, then that diagonal matrix will become a scalar matrix. So if I just want to take 2, 0, 0, 0, 2, 0, 0, 0, 2. Notice it's a diagonal, right? Except the principal diagonal, all the other elements are 0. First thing. Second thing, and all the diagonal elements are also same. In such case, the diagonal matrix will be called as a scalar matrix. These are the most important or the most repeated one during the final examination. Okay, remember. And I said these many students will do a common mistake. The beginning of the definition they will go wrong. Most of the students will start it as a matrix. Once you say a matrix, the evaluator will see nothing else. If you have written an example also, then they will not be considered. Okay, example will be considered if your definitions are correct. Hope it's clear, students. Please take care of these two. You'll be wondering, sir, can I start a scalar as a square? Of course you can start. But if you start scalar as a square, two conditions you have to mention. A square matrix in which diagonal elements are same, non-diagonal elements are zeros. Two things you have to mention. Remember, two things. Okay, a square matrix in which the diagonal elements are same, the non-diagonal elements are 0. Mention two things. If not, the best way, go with the diagonal matrix. So a scalar matrix is a diagonal matrix in which the principal diagonal elements are same. That's enough. And what if it's a diagonal matrix, correct? It's a scalar matrix, correct? Okay. And if the principal diagonal elements are unity or 1, then that type of matrix will be called as a unit matrix. So unit matrix, simple definition, a diagonal matrix in which the diagonal elements are unity. Fine. A scalar matrix in which the diagonal elements are unity. Anything is fine. Or if I want to start as a square matrix, fine, no problem, start it. A square matrix in which the diagonal elements are unity. The non-diagonal elements are 0. That's how the beginning and the ending should be. Okay. So please remember, students, whatever comes, whatever goes, I don't know. Okay, whatever the definitions they might ask, I don't know. But two definitions, either for a diagonal matrix or for a scalar matrix, definitely they will ask you in the final examination. So please practice these two. So you already learned, I have already taught you 1 marks during this session. Okay, so just remember this. So we done with the types of matrices also. So after the types of matrices, now the next thing what we have is operations on matrices. What are the different operations I can perform on given two matrices? For example, if I say different operations on numbers, what are the different operations on numbers? On numbers we have addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. Correct, right? Anything else? I don't know. On these other things which I don't know. Okay. We have many actually. Forget it. I don't want to discuss on that. But if I say numbers, you will say this for at least in the beginning, right? What if I say I will give you matrices? What are the different operations I can apply? The different operations are addition of matrices, right? Subtraction of matrices. Next we have something called as multiplication of matrices. Usually we don't have something called as division of a matrix. It doesn't exist. Just forget it. Okay. Now what we have something called as addition of a matrix, subtraction of a matrix, and multiplication of matrix. Students, if you can learn these three, the chapter will end actually. Just one more concept after that. Okay, we have something called complement of a matrix. Okay, or transpose of a matrix. That we will come back to later on. Right. Now let us start with the first one. Now operations on matrices. Under that, the first one we are going to study addition of matrices. That means given two matrix, can I add any two matrix? I will be given two matrix. Can I add any two matrix? No. Given two matrix, I can add up, okay, those two matrix only if matrix addition is possible, if the orders are same. Remember this thing. Okay.